Not a chance. Who's talking into my ear? Because they're real glasses half empty.
So it made it kind of difficult to go to work because I had to pretend that I didn't have these.
You can now ask who was the best kisser. And don't say me just because I'm sitting here, but don't say not me because I'm sitting here.
Okay.
Say it's me.
It's you.
After appearing on Friends for more than 200 episodes together, Lisa Kudrow has thoughts about Matthew Perry's passing. Having Lisa Kudrow as her co-star in the hit sitcom Friends that ran for a decade, it's understandable that the actress was beyond shocked and destroyed at the news. But how close really did Matthew Perry and Lisa Kudrow get? What was their friendship like? Let's explore all that in today's video. But of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this.
What is that?
Thanks for asking, someone. I'm playing for PS Arts, and PS Arts puts arts education back in public.
It was the role of Chandler Bing in the legendary sitcom Friends that catapulted Perry to superstardom. Premiering on NBC in 1994, the show, about 6 single New Yorkers navigating the complexities of adulthood, quickly became a cultural phenomenon. Perry, who was only 25 years old when the series began, became a household name overnight, alongside his fellow cast members Jennifer Aniston, Courteney Cox, Matt LeBlanc, and David Schwimmer. Lisa Kudrow played the eccentric Phoebe Buffay on the show, a masseuse and musician who would hang out with the gang at Central Perk. Matthew.
She exits. Phoebe looks out the window.
Oh, look! There's Monica and Chandler! Hey! Hey, you guys! Hey!
Chandler and Monica are standing close together. They start taking off each other's
Matthew Perry passed away on October 28, 2023 in his home in Los Angeles, California. So how did Lisa Kudrow react to Matthew Perry's passing? According to DailyMail, sources close to Lisa Kudrow said that she thought that his demise at just 54 did not seem real to any of the gang. The source went further on to say, although no one wants to believe it was medication, prescribed or not, of course that is a thought in their minds. They continued, they are thinking he must have taken something that did not mix with the warm water. Director James Burrows revealed that he texted the girls of Friends about their good friend's passing. I had texted the girls the day we found out. Shared on the Today Show on Thursday, November 2nd. They were destroyed. It's a brother dying. In Perry's 2022 memoir, released almost a year to the day before his untimely demise, Kudrow wrote the foreword. Over the many years since I was first asked, it's been, at different times, the most asked question for me. I understand why so many people asked it. They love Matthew, and they want him to be okay, she wrote. Me too. She added that she always bristled at that question from the press because she felt it wasn't her place to share his story, explaining, I couldn't say what I wanted to say. It's his story to tell, and I'm not authorized to tell it really. Am I?
Hey, Mac, I want to ask both of you, which is funnier, sarcasm or cluelessness?
Well, they're sarcasm.
Kudrow continued, over those years, I didn't really try to intervene or confront him because the little I knew about addiction was that his sobriety was out of my hands. She shared, and yet I would have periods of wondering if I was wrong for not doing more, doing something. But I did come to understand that this disease relentlessly fed itself and was determined to keep going. So, I just focused on Matthew, who could make me laugh so hard every day, and once a week, laugh so hard I cried and couldn't breathe. Kudrow wrote at the time. He was there, Matthew Perry, who was whip-smart, charming, sweet, sensitive, very reasonable, and rational. That guy, with everything he was battling, was still there. The same Matthew who from the beginning could lift us all up during a grueling night shoot for the opening titles inside that fountain. She concluded, he has survived impossible odds, but I had no idea how many times he almost didn't make it. I'm glad you're here, Maddie. Good for you. I love you.
Funny test that you have to pass?
Yes.
Yeah, they have a table full of props, and you have to use them in really interesting, creative.
While initial reports said that Kudrow was adopting Perry's dog, those were dispelled because Perry didn't have a dog at the time of his passing. Perry previously had a poodle named Alfred that he shared with ex, Molly Hurwitz. Since their split, Alfred has appeared on Molly's social media account several times. Meanwhile, Lisa Kudrow also admitted that during those years of hanging out with Matthew, knowing his pain wasn't fun at all, She once said that it was not fun being around Perry back then while filming the hit NBC sitcom. Recently, a source also said that she's baffled about her friend's possibly substance-related demise. In 2002, Perry made headlines after opening up about his return to Friends after a rehab stint. At that time, Kudrow told the New York Times, via US Weekly, that hard doesn't even begin to describe how she and the cast tried to cope with the comedian's condition. The cast of Friends discussed Perry's struggles in the past. When Matthew was sick, it was not fun, she confessed. We were just hopelessly standing on the sidelines. We were hurting a lot. Matthew is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. He's charming and hilarious. Most of our hard laughs came from Matthew. Perry entered a sober house for the first time in 1997 after a Vicodin addiction and heavy drinking. That year, Aniston told Entertainment Weekly that the 17 Again star was one of the most sensitive people I've ever met. She went on to discuss his relationship with fame, saying, "His feelings get hurt. He cares what people think. He even bruises easily."
Gives them a chance to rehabilitate themselves, put them in a 2-year rehab situation. So it's a great thing.
The Go On alum previously told The View that he thought fame was going to fix his substance abuse issues. "I wanted fame more than anybody in the world," he said of his friend Stardom. "And then I got it. And about 6 months later, I went, oh, this is not fixing what I thought it would fix. And I'm very grateful for everything that happened, of course. One of the things I said in the book, though, is it did help me with substance and alcohol, that job," he explained. "Because when I said to myself, I'm on this amazing show. You can't have the 70th drink when you have to be at work the next morning with these wonderful people and doing the job." He added that he had to deal with myself, that I would never drink or take anything while working. And I held up to that deal. Still, he was insanely hungover during the work, despite knowing it was the greatest job in the world. On November 1st, 2022, Perry released his memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, where he shared his journey into sobriety. Kudrow wrote a heartbreaking foreword for the book, which fans are now quoting on social media as a tribute to the late actor. "How's Matthew Perry doing?" wrote the comeback alum. "Over many years since I was first asked, it's been, at different times, the most asked question for me. I understand why so many people asked it. They love Matthew and they want him to be okay. Me too. But I always bristled at that question from the press because I couldn't say what I wanted to say. It's his story to tell, and I'm not authorized to tell it, really. Am I?" She continued, "I would have wanted to go on to say, this is very intimate personal stuff, and if you don't want to hear it from the actual person, it is, to my mind, gossip. And I'm not gossiping about Matthew with you."
Continue.
If I had a time machine, I would like to go back to 2004 and not have stopped.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
She then said, "Truly, I wasn't exactly sure how Matthew was doing, as he'll tell you in this book. He was keeping it a secret, and it took some time for him to feel comfortable enough to tell us some of what he was going through. As it turned out, she didn't really try to intervene or confront him because the little I knew about addiction was that his sobriety was out of my hands. However, she would have periods of wondering if I was wrong for not doing more, doing something. But I did come to understand that this disease relentlessly fed itself and was determined to keep going. So I just focused on Matthew, who could make me laugh so hard every day, and once a week, laugh so hard I cried and couldn't breathe." After describing her friend as whip-smart, charming, sweet, sensitive, very reasonable, and rational, Kudrow introduced the tell-all by saying that Perry has survived impossible odds, but I had no idea how many times he almost didn't make it. I'm glad you're here, Maddie. Good for you. I love you. Lisa. An insider close to Kudrow claimed that the Friends cast suspects it was substance-related, although no one wants to believe that it was medication, prescribed or not. Of course, that is a thought in their minds, they said. At this time, it may still be heartbreaking for Lisa and other Friends cast to cope with Matthew's demise, but we can only hope that time will mend these wounds. That's it for today. We hope you found this video informative. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos like this.